Have you ever felt like you've gone too far for forgiveness? In the fabric of our lives, the struggles of family dynamics and the quest for belonging seem to weave through the centuries, stitching together a story of human experience that's as old as time itself. Today, we'll unravel an ancient tale that echoes across generations, promising unexpected wisdom for the very predicaments we face. This parable may just hold the key to unlocking deeper understanding of forgiveness and the complex dance of familial relationships. One ancient story has been changing perspectives on forgiveness for over 2 millennia. Nestled within the pages of Scripture lies a family saga so profound that its lessons reverberate in our hearts and homes even today. As we delve into this narrative, prepare to uncover startling truths about human nature, divine love, and the strength of the bonds that tie us together. Truths that might just turn everything you thought you knew about forgiveness on its head. In the bustling streets of our modern cities, and even within the quiet walls of our own homes, there's a yearning for something more, a longing that often drives us to make choices that promise freedom, but land us in places we never intended. We step out in search of adventure, or perhaps in rebellion, seeking to cast off the chains of expectation and tradition. It's a journey that many of us embark on at some point in our lives, one fraught with risks and unexpected turns. Here, in the timeless parable of the Prodigal Son, we find a young man who embodies this very struggle. He asks for his inheritance early, a bold demand that would have shocked his community, and sets off to a distant land, far from the watchful eyes of his family. As the bright lights of the city dim and the allure of new experiences fades, his reality turns grim. His inheritance squandered, the young man finds himself in dire straits, hungry and alone, a servant feeding pigs and envying their meal. How similar this is to our own stories when the chase for what we thought would be life's grand prize leaves us empty-handed. In these moments of desperation, we too can feel the pangs of spiritual hunger, a deep craving for meaning and connection that money and material pleasures can't satisfy. But within this desolation springs a glimmer of hope, a remembrance of home. The prodigal son realizes that even his father's servants live better than he does now. Can you relate to that moment of clarity? Have you ever found yourself at rock bottom, only to recall a place or time that now seems like paradise lost? This young man's decision to return home, despite the shame and potential rejection, speaks to the human experience of acknowledging our failings and the humbling journey back to where we started. A journey filled not just with trepidation, but with the hope for redemption and a fresh start. As we delve further into his homecoming, we'll uncover the transformative power of forgiveness and challenge our own conceptions of what it means to return to the fold. As the prodigal son makes the weary trek back to his father's house, burdened with failure and the anticipation of scorn, there's a powerful shift that unfolds within him. It's this very journey of return that we will now navigate, metaphorically walking alongside those who have also strayed and now seek a path back to wholeness. We explore not just the physical journey back, but the internal transformation that occurs when someone decides to face their past and seek forgiveness. Let's bring this ancient tale into present day through the lens of Michael, a man whose modern life story echoes the prodigal's experience. Once a successful businessman, Michael found himself lost to addiction, his personal and professional life crumbling to dust. At his lowest point, he encountered the same stark realization as our biblical young man. The life he had known, with all its comforts and security, was vastly preferable to the chaos he had embraced. The courage it takes to admit one's mistakes and take the first step towards making amends is as monumental today as it was for the prodigal son. Michael's story, like the parables, is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of humility and hope. In our surge for independence or defiance, we may find ourselves marooned in situations that test our character. Like Michael, we might discover that what once seemed restrictive, be it family, community, or tradition, holds a value we couldn't appreciate until it was absent. Michael made the difficult choice to come home, to be vulnerable, and to ask for help. And in doing so, he found that forgiveness often begins with forgiving oneself. As the prodigal son returns to a father whose arms are open wide, We too learn that returning home, to whatever place or state of grace that may be, is not only a possibility, but a vital step in healing and rediscovering our true worth. As we delve deeper into this parable, we bring our focus to a father's embrace, a gesture so filled with grace that it shatters all expectations. Imagine the scene, a weary traveler spotted in the distance, his posture heavy with regret. Yet before words of apology can spill from his lips, he is swept up in an embrace that speaks louder than any expression of remorse ever could. This moment is pivotal, revealing the essence of forgiveness and love that knows no bounds. How does this reflect upon our own ability to forgive and be forgiven within our families and communities? The father's response is not one of condemnation or retribution, but rather a welcome void of judgment. It is a vivid portrayal of love in its purest form, love that doesn't keep scores, that eclipses past transgressions with open arms. Let us pause here in the warmth of this embrace and turn the mirror towards ourselves. How often do we extend this kind of forgiveness? Have we experienced the liberation that comes with being forgiven without conditions? Share your stories of forgiveness, of moments when you were welcomed back with open arms, or when you were the one offering that sanctuary of acceptance. Your experiences breathe life into this ancient story, grounding it in our daily lives, and reminding us all of the transformative power of forgiveness and the strength to rebuild bonds that once seemed irreparably broken. In our journey through the parable of the prodigal son, we arrive at a character often overshadowed by the drama of forgiveness and return, the older brother. His reaction to his sibling's homecoming isn't one of joy but of resentment, a sense of justice wounded by the celebration for the wayward son who squandered his share of the inheritance. What does this reaction tell us about our own hearts? Here's where the rubber meets the road. The parable opens the floor to discuss deeper issues of envy and fairness, contrasting human justice with divine mercy. Consider the image, the elder son, standing outside the feast, arms crossed, as music and laughter spill out. He cannot fathom why his loyalty and hard work seem to go unnoticed while his brother receives a grand welcome. To better understand his perspective, imagine visual aids like scales tipping unevenly, symbolizing the imbalance he feels. It's a compelling representation of our own struggles with perceived fairness and how we assess others' actions versus our own. We might ask ourselves, how often do we begrudge others their moment of grace because we feel it is undeserved? Do we stand outside the feast, caught up in our righteousness, unable to join in the joy of someone else's redemption? Bringing this concept into modern light, let's consider our reactions when someone who has made poor choices, perhaps even hurt us or our loved ones, turns their life around. Do we celebrate their return to the right path or harbor silent objections, questioning their sincerity or the fairness of their newfound happiness? Let's confront these hard questions, peeling back the layers of our preconceptions. Think about your life, your community. Is there an older brother resistance within us, cautious of being too quick to celebrate another's restoration? What steps can we take to move past this, to accept that sometimes divine grace defies our human metrics of justice? Through the lens of ancient wisdom, this story invites us to examine our own biases and to consider a more compassionate, merciful approach to others' journeys. For in the end, the celebration is not just for the one who was lost and then found, but for the family, the community, and yes, even for the older brother, should he choose to join the feast. As we close this exploration of the prodigal son, let us remember that within the threads of this ancient parable lie the golden strands of forgiveness and understanding. It is a reminder that we are all part of a human family, often flawed, but always capable of redemption. This narrative doesn't just offer a twist, it unfolds an invitation for each of us to examine the depth of our own capacity for compassion and to acknowledge the boundless nature of divine love. In reflecting on this story's powerful themes, consider how you will respond to life's prodigal moments, both as the one who seeks forgiveness and as the one who offers it. Think about the beauty of a grace that celebrates every return and learn to dance in the joy of restored relationships. What change can this understanding spark within your family, within your community, and within your own heart? We invite you to share your thoughts and experiences with us. How have the insights from this parable touched you? What new perspectives have you gained on forgiveness and the ties that bind us together? Your voice is a valued piece of this collective journey toward enlightenment and spiritual growth. Be sure to subscribe to Divine Light for more content that bridges the ancient wisdom of Christian teachings with the practical realities of our times. Together, let us continue this journey of faith, learning and growing with each story that we share. May your path be illuminated by the divine light that guides us all.